So hello and welcome to another Sunday video. Today on Sunday I make banknotes and coins of the pre-decimal series, and today we're doing a banknote. I don't have that many pre-decimal banknotes. I seem to have sold them all a few years ago, but one of them that I did keep was pretty poor condition, and this is the series that was issued between 1939 and 1954. It is a carry-on to the series that was issued in 1933 as a legal tender banknote. So if you're not too familiar, in 1933, after the Great Depression, they decided not to allow these banknotes to be traded for gold coins, the sovereign and the half sovereign. So they decided just to make them legal tender, and then the government could just print the banknotes instead of minting the coins to issue for circulation. And that's what they done. This is just a carry on of the series. So the most striking thing you can tell of these banknotes is the black serial numbers and the signatures on the orange banknote. And in 1954 they did put some brown into it. Actually most of it was brown, but they still had orange, and that was carried over to the $1 banknote. So these are quite a nice banknote. They have a lot of cursive writing. A lot of people now probably can't really read this writing because they've not been educated in it. So the note is legal tender for 10 shillings in the Commonwealth and in all territories under the under the control of the Commonwealth. So Commonwealth, that means the federal government of Australia. And I can actually write like this because I was taught in was it high school? Yeah, high school, I think year 9 in the 80s. So I'm actually quite old. And this is B39, and then you got serial number. So the last prefix, well, we'll have a look in a minute. We'll just have a look at the actual banknote. So the previous series with King George V just had him as the portrait, and as this banknote is in poor condition, the lines interrupt the actual image, so it's quite hard to see really good detail. But here's King George VI, and you can see in the background we have 10 shillings up there. And so what I'm talking about, so you got the word 10 shillings, and in the design in there you also got 10 shillings as well. So that's a security feature for this banknote. You can see it goes all the way across the paper except for the clear part on the side. The watermark is Captain Cook, so he was also carried over to the decimal series of paper banknotes, and he was dropped when we issued the polymer banknote. You can see the coat of arms. So we've got the emu, kangaroo in the States, quite nice. Then we look around, you can see this patination here was designed to be an anti-counterfeiting feature as well, because these would have had to be engraved without computers as we do now. So you can quite easily scan and print these with today's technology, but back in the 30s to 50s, you couldn't actually do that. And that's a symbol for 10 shillings. So that the slash with the little dash, so that is how you write shillings if you didn't want to write shillings. And on the back we have an image of manufacturing industries, and these are called allegorical features because they don't represent an individual. So it's a little bit hard to see, but this is supposed to be a blacksmith. And then we have a potter. So there's a potter, There's the pot there. There's the pot spinning wheel. It's a person. Blacksmith, so the anvil is here. He's got a hammer. This guy here is spinning yarn. So he's actually turning wool. So there's this spinning wheel. He's turning wool into fibre. And this one is, oh, he's got a book. He's a librarian. So he's holding books there. More books there. If I can get a better banknote, it would show better detail. And this guy in the background is he's actually got scales. So he's weighing stuff. And that is from, I don't know where that's from a fresco. I can't really find that much information about these type of banknotes on the internet. So a lot of this information you can probably only get in book form. So that is the bad thing about the internet, is that some areas have virtually no information at all. And when it comes down to banknotes and coins, well, that is the case with definitely the pre-decimal banknotes, as well as a lot of the medieval stuff. You need to go to book form. So that's why you should buy some book catalogues, because that information you're just not going to find on the internet. And let's have a look at the actual prefix of these banknotes. So my banknote is B39. So with the 52 to 54 series, which this banknote is part of, you can tell because of the prefix B39 as well as the signatures. So two things to give it away. So we have A75 to B39, and you can see you got 6 numbers. So with each of these you get 1 million banknotes from 00000 to 99999. So that gives 25 million for A 75 to A 100 or 99. So that should actually be, I've done that wrong, that should 24 million. So 24, and then we got B00 to B49, so that is 50 million. Now I'm not too sure if there was a B00, if they went to B01. We'll just look at that. But the overall total is the same. There's 74 million banknotes that were printed just in those two time periods. So now we look at see how much these sell for. So here I've got the sold listings, and the first thing you'll notice is that I put Coombs Wilson. I didn't put the date in, but there is another banknote that has the same signatures, but it is a different banknote, the one issued under Elizabeth II. So I'll do that in another video. So what we're going to do is try and find how much these sell for. So here we have 2 banknotes. We have one that was best offer, so we're not too sure how much it sold for. Another one sold for $100 in very fine condition. So this one has good, very fine. Banknote I have is probably fine to poor condition. Here we have another one, $40. This one, it looks like it is, yeah, probably in VF condition. So that one is, you know, pretty good. So for, how much did that sell for? $40. That's probably an okay pickup. So here we have one in probably poor grade, fine grade. It is worse condition than mine. Is it worse condition? Yeah, I reckon it just a grade lower than mine, and it went for $12.50. So these are not cheap notes in even the lowest grade. So here we have another note. This is most likely in poor grade. The reason why it's in poor grade is you can see that the banknote has pretty folded, has if we look at, okay, so now I've got the whole banknote on screen. You can see it's actually in pretty poor condition. Central fold, and this sold for $37. So this is probably a bit high for this type of banknote. Look at the background. Looks like this almost has been ripped in half. So that's probably not a really good thing to buy for $37. Under $10, yeah, probably good, but I would avoid actually trying to get these for a high price when you're not really going to be able to resell it for that price. Okay, so then we have this one. Went for $107.50. If you look at it close up, looks to be a little bit cut off center. Oh no, that's just the actual picture. We've got two lines, but this is probably in EF condition. And for $100, I would say that's a good pickup. Then we have this banknote for $207. And this one is in definitely, I would say EF, high grade EF to almost uncirculated condition. I don't see any folds. I see this dirt there, but you know, that's just damage. So this is in high grade, so $200. When the catalog price, so the catalog price for an EF is $450 and almost uncirculated $700. So yeah, that's in line with my expectations if this sold for $200. So the catalog's pretty much overvalued. But it is a nice note if you wanted to get one for your collection. I would recommend you probably try and buy these ones. These are, because of the high value, they would be a bit harder to sell, but you will probably have no problem in at least getting your money back in the future. So here we have another one, and if you look close up, you can see it's in the condition is probably fine. It has a lot of folds, lots of tears. You've got tears up here. You've got a hole, pinhole. And you've got rounding of the edges. And it came. And here's the other side of the banknote. So that is a $20 banknote. And obviously that banknote lot that they showed there is probably just to entice you to bid on it. And this one's A90, so this is a 90 millionth banknote, because even when the signatures changed, they just kept on with the same serial numbers. So generally, I don't expect the serial numbers to all start at 0 for the new prefix. They probably start in the middle like this, and they just change the signatures in the banknote. But I don't have that type of information. And then you got this rip there, which is a bit distracting. But for $20, you know, well, it's pretty much just a space filler for these type of banknotes. So all in all, this banknote here probably costs between $10 and $30 to get. Obviously, the ones we saw in poorer grade were higher in value. So I reckon this one's probably about $30, around that mark. You can get extremely fine to almost uncirculated ones for between $100 and $200, as we've seen on the eBay sold listings. Just remember, they're sold, they're not for sale. So these are what people were willing to pay for it. And I hope this helps you get educated about the value of these pretty damn beautiful banknotes. Anyway, I'll leave a link to eBay so you can see if you can get these. I would recommend probably going for auctions and only put in as much as you're willing to pay. If the listing goes over that, then my advice is just don't worry about it, because these are not rare. How many did you say? 74 million banknotes. Most of those are probably gone. But there will be a new opportunity in the future to get another one of these banknotes. Anyway, here I'll end the video. Thank you very much for watching and have an awesome banknote collecting time. Thank you and goodbye.